Hello, everyone around the world. Welcome to Keep God Simple, where we keep everything simple. There's no need to complicate things. So I'm going through this. I always leave the information for everybody. And today's Bible verse is uncertain on purpose. So we're going to be reading Acts 9, 1 through 19.
Acts chapter 9. But Saul, still breathing threats and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest and asked for letters from him to the synagogues of Damascus, that if he found any who were of the way, whether men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. As he travelled, it happened that he got close to Damascus, and suddenly a light from the heavens shone around him. He fell on the earth and heard a voice saying to him, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" He said, "Who are you, Lord?" The Lord said, "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting. But rise up and enter into the city, and you will be told what you must do." The men who travelled with him stood speechless, hearing the sound, but seeing no one. Saul arose from the ground, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no one. They led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus. He was without sight for 3 days, and neither ate nor drank. Now there was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias. The Lord said to him in a vision, "Ananias." He said, "Behold, it's me, Lord." The Lord said to him, "Arise and go to the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judah for one named Saul, a man of Tarsus. For behold, he is praying. And in a vision he has seen a man named Ananias coming in and laying his hands on him that he might receive his sight." But Ananias answered, "Lord, I've heard from many about this man, how much evil he did to your saints at Jerusalem. Here he has authority from the chief priests to bind all who call on your name." But the Lord said to him, "Go your way, for he is my chosen vessel to bear my name before the nations and kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how many things he must suffer for my name's sake." Ananias departed and entered into the house. Laying his hands on him, he said, "Brother Saul, the Lord who appeared to you on the road by which you came has sent me, that you may receive your sight and be filled with the Holy Spirit." Immediately something like scales fell from his eyes, and he received his sight. He arose and was baptized. He took food and was strengthened. Saul stayed several days with the disciples who were at Damascus.
Okay. Key verse today. Now Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest and asked for letters from him to the synagogue at Damascus, so that if he found any belonging to the way, both men and women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. Let's think of some questions. How has God gotten your attention when you've made wrong choices? People, we got to be putting on our thinking caps and focusing as to where your focus needs to go. How might it be possible for you to take action when you are uncertain? Saul had a pedigree. He had the right credentials. If he lived today, he might think of himself as a crime fighter or a spiritual superhero. He settled for learning about God without really knowing him. That caused him to make choices that reflected wrong thinking instead of right action. Saul held the coats of killers when Stephen, a follower of Jesus, was stoned to death. He threatened Christians and said they would be killed. He was so certain he was right. He was a first-century vigilante. Jesus made him intentionally uncertain. Saul had to question what he believed. Was he really as right in his thinking as he believed he was? Then Saul was temporarily blind by Jesus. This encounter and condition is why he became uncertain. It allowed Saul time to consider that he might have been wrong. Meeting Jesus changed defiance to remorse and superiority, complex to humility. I think this is so wonderful. I think this is, this one just really touched me. I mean, all of the words that God lays upon my heart always touches me. But I think this one is a lot as to what's going on today in this sinful world, this evil world that I think is being thrown out there, and people are paying attention to it, and I'm guilty as well. So I think this is a good one that we need to be focusing on and adhere to this particular Bible study. Again, they're all important. Okay, let's go into prayer. When I'm feeling unsure, remind me that you ask me to slow down and think about what I'm doing. Uncertainty isn't always a bad thing, and uncertain times demand I spend time with you to learn the best way to respond. I will face plenty of uncertain times. Help me, Lord, to be certain that you can lead me through. I hope and pray, that God uses this, his word and everything. Like I said, it was laid upon me through the Holy Spirit. I don't ever know, I feel like it's for me as well as other people, but I don't know who. So again, I'm a tool, and I try my hardest to keep God simple. Of course, I fall victim to sin, so I have to keep choosing every day like everybody else has to choose. So I like to put that out there. There's no such thing as a perfect being. And let's talk about the hierarchy again. Let's keep it simple. God first, everything else second. Let's keep that in your mind. So let's start filtering everything else out, and let's start seeking and asking the right questions and gaining wisdom in our life. So I hope and pray y'all have a wonderful, blessed day.